Hello and good day. This is Boles TV. It's BOLES.television. Live and in concert from the East Coast of these United States. Well, I have all these fun things planned for today, and then life gets in the way. Bigots and racists get in the way, and you think, well, I was going to start with, a lovely Valentine's story and, play with my Valentine's goop a little bit more with you and show you some gifts and tell you some stories, and I'm going to do all of that. But now I feel like I have to start at the beginning because it's been an interesting morning. So I wake up, and first thing I do, check the computer, check the email, what's going on with the news, doing a show today, what's happening. And I am met very early this morning, like 5 a.m., by a response from somebody who I'd interacted before on the Fediverse, Mastodon. We run our own instance at Boles.xyz. And this person had, dug up something I said from a couple of days ago, which in the world of the Fediverse and the world of Mastodon, something that happened 2 or 3 days ago is like 100 years ago. I didn't even remember what it was that I said. And this person is saying, oh, I completely disagree. I have completely opposite point of view. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go. It's, 5 in the morning and someone's looking for a fight. So I go back and I read what I wrote, something about, how we have a loss of shame in modern culture. I was going to talk about it last show. I ran out of time. I plan to talk about it this show. I hope I don't run out of time. But I'm going to kind of talk about it right now, since it was thrust upon me. And then the cascading consequences of that decision. So I read what I said, so I thought, okay, the idea I was expressing is we have no shame. It used to be, 30, 40, 50 years ago. If you misbehaved as a child, your parents would say, shame on you. And you get a timeout or you go apologize to the person you insulted. That's how you build a community. That's how you sustain a society, is by speaking kindly and nicely to each other, even if you don't like them for whatever reason. What's the point of coming out and saying, oh, by the way, I hate you because of boom, 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 whatever it might be. Sexuality, skin color, where you live, how much money you have, how much money you don't have, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. We kind of keep that to ourselves. The repression of rage. And as we discussed here on this Boles TV live stream broadcast simulcast before, the movie Falling Down has been now realized in America. They are the Trump voter. And unfortunately, they don't get shot in the end. They sort of shoot other people. If you follow the news, if you watched January 6th, that's the sort of attitude. Those are the people from Falling Down, the movie, starring Michael Douglas. So this person was saying, oh, I have just the opposite point of view. And then a person said something that didn't make any sense to me. Waking up, how can you be against doing shameful things? And so I asked for clarification, and this person then went on to very clearly explain. It appeared that this person believed in white power, and if he wants to rage at somebody of color, he can, and he shouldn't be shamed for doing it because that's how he feels. Then he went on to say that, and this is where I started catching on, it was like 5:15. I was like, oh, now here we go. He said, well, I was a Bernie Sanders voter, And then I changed my mind and voted for Trump. And I'm thinking, that's an impossibility. There is no person in the world of any genuine function who can say to you clearly and brightly that you support the values and the positions of Bernie Sanders, and then all of a sudden you decide, well, I don't want that. Progressive, I'm going to go regressive and vote for Trump. Not happening. It's a cover, as you say. So then I said, okay, then I just responded because this person's looking for a fight and I'm really not interested in fighting. I thought, well, should I, block or just go on with my life? I don't know. So I said, well, thank you for sharing your position. Because he was saying he was against social justice warriors and all of that. So I thought, okay, well, thank you so much. And now we know who you are and what you stand for. We know your values. Okay, thank you. And I was done. I was not going to respond after that. And then almost immediately he says, I had also asked, he used the word those people, okay? And we know what that's a code word for. Those people. People in the minority, people they want to mock and make fun of. So I said, what do you mean by those people? He or she started the rage about unemployment and being in New York and being put upon. And then that's when I said that, then that's when I replied, said, okay, thank you for, clarifying and explaining, appreciate it very much. Now we know where you stand and people can read for themselves. And then this person replies back immediately and says, are you one of them? Meaning, in context, are you one of those people? And honestly, I really didn't understand what the point was. Why I was even having this conversation. I thought, well, I'm not going to do anything right now. I'll just think about it. And then about 5 minutes later, what they do is they brigade. Another person that I've never spoken to before pops up and says, oh, my friend is right. You have to listen to him, her. And a whole paragraph of that sort of, I support misbehaving, being shameless in America because I have no shame, because these are my beliefs and you can't take them away from me and you can't shame me for using them. And if you do try to shame me, then I'll just go harder at you and whatever you believe in and you like. Okay, so now I was awake, 5:30 in the morning. Okay, now I know what's going on. This is the early days of blogging where people show up, give you a hard time, you have to block them, get rid of them. They say you're violating their sense of free speech, and meow. So I said, okay, I just block. And I did. Which means they cannot appear on my server as them. They can always try to come back as something else. And that's usually what they do. And then they also try to, once they've been blocked, well, they're not happy with that because they want to fight you. And they want to be in public, and they want their friends to come and fight you too. They have no shame. They don't want to be shamed. They don't want to live in a moral society. They want to live in their own society. And so I immediately see that this person who I just blocked on Mastodon had gone to our Discord server and made a couple of snotty comments and posted some images. So I banned the person there, removed all the offensive content, and we have very good moderation tools on Discord. So turn those on, put them on high, and then you think, well, the next thing they're going to do is they're going to go to my instance and try to register. So they'd be on my instance, Boles.xyz, and spewing all kinds of hatred. And I had turned off the ability to sign up without being approved first. And then I turned it back on where anybody could register because I read in the Mastodon Discord server that, if you want to be listed publicly for people to find you, open registrations, which are, nothing gets vetted, you just sign up and you go, get promoted more than smaller instances where you have to get approved. So I thought, okay. So I went in there, I saw, not related to this incident, but from a couple of days ago, a couple of people had registered on my instance, and I thought I'd get an email saying, hey, you have a new user. That did not happen. Now, the two people who were there haven't really posted anything. I don't know why they're there. I don't know if they plan to stay there, but I immediately went in there and turned off the ability to just register without me looking at their registration first. So then I realized, okay, I know that the Fediverse is a wild open, Wild West place. And I knew somehow, somewhere, there were ways where you could just block these hate servers right at the beginning. They can't come on, they can't talk to you, just block them. Because I don't even want to read what they have to say in order to block them. I don't want them to be there in the first place. I just don't have time for it. So I went on the Mastodon server and I said, hey, this is what happened this morning. What can I do? And almost immediately, a very good guy responded and said, here are block lists. Some of them are very severely blocking, and others are, a little more, tended to, not quite so severe. And you just download them, upload them to your server, and then all of these instances will be blocked. And this is what it looks like. This is one of them. Very lovely. Garden fence. And it's a real freaking shame even to have this kind of thing. This block list is intended as a simple starting point for new server admins who want to protect their users from the worst and most well-known sources of the shameless. Hate speech, racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia. Yes, I don't want any of that on my server. Harassment, trolling, doxing, stalking. Yes. Alt-right, Nazism, fascism. Yes. Free speech as in bigotry. I'm just asking questions, right? We've all seen it. We've all heard it. Oh, I'm not racist. I'm just asking you a racist question, is what they say. Misinformation, anti-vax, conspiracy theories, sexualization of minors, potential for CSAM, spamming, denial of service, network disruption, abusive bots. Yes. Who wouldn't want that protection? I don't know why it's not built into Mastodon as a base install. You should be able to go there and say, if you don't want all these things on your server, click this button and we'll block these servers from you and for you. They don't, and they didn't, because I know the idea of Mastodon is to be open, everybody's in. And so then you download this file and you import it into your Mastodon and you're done. That's one. That's a small tended to list. Now, here's another one that was also recommended to me. Block lists. This is Oliphants. Isn't that great? A Mastodon avatar. Beautiful. And you can have small block lists, you can have big block lists, you can have tiny block lists. Here we go. I took the max block list, downloaded it, uploaded it to my server, and this is where it gets really interesting. The second I uploaded that really big block page, which I didn't know how big it was, I didn't know what was in it, I just uploaded it. Almost immediately, I get an admin timeout saying your server is now in maintenance mode, which means what I'm uploading is too big for it to handle at one time and quickly. So I waited and waited and waited. Finally, it sort of reloaded. I forced a page refresh. My page domain still there. Admin area a little slow. And went into the block area. I saw that I had now 63 pages of 20 per page domains blocked. I thought, wow, I know there are, 10,000 Mastodon servers or something. So I thought, wow, okay, I guess that's why it went into maintenance mode, because that's a lot to process, because you have to actively, interactively, block all these instances and then let the good ones in. And then about 10, 15 minutes later, I went back to check to see, if everything was working again. And it was still sort of working, but shaky. And then I saw I had over 300 pages of 20 servers per page blocked now on my instance. Now, does that mean my server is going to be slow? My server is going to be unresponsive? I don't know. Do you want the blocks? Yes, I do. So I go about my day. I upload my cats on my pixel-fed instance. I write my brutalist cat update for the day and getting ready for the show, and everything's kind of not happening. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, what happened to Boles.xyz? So I look, and I see everything is stopped at like 2 hours ago. What do I do? So I look, okay, I see what I posted. Now, the thing from PixelFed that I posted usually arrives in a minute or two, and then it's automatically shared because it's Fediverse. My cat from PixelFed did not show up. I noticed my home screen that just rolls very quickly was not moving and had not moved for 2 hours. Usually my mentions, people I follow, nothing. I said, well, I know that's not right because I always get a little something when I post something. And then I thought, well, I guess maybe I messed up my server. So I contacted my server owner, Mastohost, Ugo. I sent him an email. I'm checking. I think he replied to us as I'm ranting about this. I asked him, I said, I think that maybe I broke my server. And because I haven't had an update for 2 hours, and I'm reading it right now. This is the response from Hugo. Hey, David, probably you uploaded a very large server block list, and your server gave priority to those blocks. So it stopped everything else until all suspensions, blocks, deletions had been processed. When you import a block list, you can be asking the server to delete thousands of accounts and millions of post media files. This can take a while to process, and Mastodon uses all available resources to process those as fast as possible. Well, that makes sense. So he said, I don't see any errors in your log file, so if you just want to wait a little bit and it'll all, get processed, you should be good. Let me know if you have any problems in a couple of hours. Right before I get ready to do the show, I go in to Mastodon and I, keep refreshing. And hey, look what I see. My old pal, Marley Bits. This was not there. This is 8 hours ago, this is 3 hours ago. But I only saw this 15 minutes ago because I had stumped my server. But doesn't that make sense? If you're uploading something that says block all these terrible places, it does make sense that Mastodon would be smart enough to say, okay, whatever else is going on, pause all those processes, let's upload this block safety list, put that all in place, go in and delete people and delete things. We have a very small instance, so I don't think it was that big. Get rid of all these things, and then we'll start processing moving forward. And that appears to be what has happened. And I love that because that's what you want to have happen. So our buddy Marley Bits responded to that person that I was speaking to earlier this morning and says, I've always said that I'll proudly wear the label social justice warrior proudly rather than narcissist. Ooh, now that's a bite off the face of the person who was harasses me this morning. Those that put labels and pronouns in their descriptions are staking their claim rather than move around in the dark, making cryptic pronouncements, which is exactly what that person was doing because I had no idea what that person was talking about. It took me half an hour to figure out, oh, this guy, I guess he's insulting me. But that's just me, Marley Bits says. As always, have a wonderful day. Now, Marley Bits posted this probably right after the interaction, which is great because Marley Bits was having my back. But because I sort of broke my server, I didn't see it till 2 hours later. And now you can see I go to all. You see, now I'm seeing favorites again. Because usually, I get every once in a while, I get a little ding-dong that someone's, liking your stuff, favoriting your stuff. Okay. So that's back. That's back. Our friend Just Annie, who always calls me dude, says, I want to ride a chunk, dude. Now, she's talking about my brutalist cats. Not some dude named Chonk. So I can't wait to respond to her. But I can't because I didn't know it was there. So everything's beautiful now. This is our home. Oh, you click on this, and then this is how fast things move on Mastodon. See? I'm not touching anything. My hands are here. And it's going. My Twitter feed was worse. It was like 24,000 people that I follow. Now I only follow like 1,000, but it still goes. So then you have to kind of turn it off, and if you move it like that, then it stays off. Then you don't have to worry about it. Hey, there's Boles.xyz. Hey, it's a lot of fun. Now you're totally safe. Come on over. I've protected you. And then our friend Dora was saying, I saw Dora said something. It was funny. Dora was talking to our friend Marley Bits. People ask me about my paper cats. And the paper cats have now, I think it's 1,700 likes and 1,500 forwards, boosts. Shocking. I don't know what's going on in the world. Here's our friend, Dark Photon Studio. I didn't get that, so I'm going to have to explain all this when the show's over. But there's one from our old friend Dora where she's thanking Marley Bits, I guess, for responding to her or saying something. And she says, I don't get the updates here. Here we go. She says, I'm still getting used to Mastodon. Sometimes I get notices and sometimes I don't. Well, Dora, you didn't get notices today for about 2 hours because we were down. But now you are. So that is the idea of shame in a modern world. There are historical examples of shaming that are quite interesting. I asked ChatGPT to give me some ideas on shame because what happened this morning is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, that shameless people don't care. Shameless people want permission to go and hurt other people and degrade other people, all in the name of white power, of bigotry, racism, of than you are. I was here first. I'm an angry white guy, gal. So I asked to discuss the moral idea of shame throughout human history and how it's been implemented to change behavior. There's hammering going on around here if you hear it. It's not me. And ChatGPT we had a very interesting conversation about this. Shame is a complex moral emotion that has been present throughout human history and has been used in various ways. In different cultures and historical periods, shame has been used to enforce social norms, maintain social order, and encourage individuals to conform to specific behaviors. In many traditional societies, shame was a powerful tool for regulating behavior, right? You don't want to be shamed. You want to do the right thing. You want to get along with people. You don't want to go out there and antagonize people just because you're a young, angry person who thinks that other people have your job and your opportunities. For example, in many indigenous cultures, shame was used to maintain social cohesion and encourage individuals to conform to cultural norms. In more recent times, shame has also been used to bring about social change. For example, in the 19th and 20th centuries, social reformers used shame to raise awareness about issues such as slavery and women's rights and child labor. By highlighting the negative consequences of these practices and encouraging individuals to reflect on their own actions, reformers sought to create a sense of shame that would motivate people to change their behavior. Then I asked a follow-up question. Well, what happens to a culture when there is no shame? How does behavior change when the shameless become leaders of society, like Donald Trump and his 5 a.m. followers? A culture without shame, ChatGPT replies, can lead to a breakdown of social norms and values, as individuals feel free to engage in behavior that is considered unacceptable or immoral. When shame is absent, there may be a lack of accountability for one's actions, as individuals may feel that they can act without fear of social repercussions. That's what they want. I say what I want to say. Don't shame me. ChatGPT continues, this leads to a decrease in moral behavior, as individuals may feel free to pursue their own interests and desires without considering the impact of their actions on others. When the shameless become leaders of society, that can have a significant impact on the culture and its values. If there are leaders not held accountable for their actions and do not feel shame, they may engage in behavior that is harmful to others or that undermines social norms and values. This can lead to a further erosion of social norms and values, as other individuals may feel they can also act in ways that are not bound by moral or ethical considerations. Donald Trump, his presidency, January 6. Evidence. Additionally, a culture without shame may lack the means to address and resolve conflicts and disputes, as individuals may feel free to engage in aggressive or harmful behavior without feeling the need to make amends or even apologize. This can lead to increased levels of violence and aggression, as well as a breakdown of social order and stability. Then I asked for some specific examples of when shaming was effective and beneficial to the moral community. Shaming has been used, ChatGPT says, throughout history as a means of promoting moral behavior and reinforcing social norms. Here are some examples of instances where shaming was effective and beneficial to the morality of the community. The suffrage movement. In the early 20th century, women who advocated for the right to vote were often ridiculed and shamed in the media by members of society who believed it was not appropriate for women to engage in political activity. However, the shame and ridicule that these women faced did not deter them from their cause, and in fact it helped draw attention to their struggle and galvanize support for women's suffrage. So in that case, the shame is flipped around, because the real shame is not in the shaming of the women, but of the women shaming the people who are shaming them. Another example of flipped shaming. The civil rights movement during the 50s and 60s in America, activists who fought for civil rights were often subject to ridicule and shaming by those who opposed their efforts, the racists and the bigots. However, the shaming did not deter activists from their cause, and in fact helped them, the shaming, the false shaming, the immoral shaming. It helped draw attention to the injustices and inequities faced by Black Americans and galvanize support for the movement. The Me Too movement, began in 2017, aimed to raise awareness of the prevalence of sexual harassment and assault, particularly in the workplace. By sharing their experiences and naming their harassers, survivors of sexual assault and harassment helped to shame and hold accountable the individuals who had been engaging in this behavior for years. That is a case of direct shaming and moral shaming. Finally, public shaming in traditional societies. In many traditional societies, public shaming was used as a means of reinforcing social norms and promoting moral behavior. And that's ChatGPT's take on shaming and moral shaming. And there's good shaming and there's bad shaming. There's direct, truthful shaming, and there is disingenuous, wrong, purposefully wrong shaming. And the difference we owe each other is knowing the difference and not letting people get away with saying terrible and outrageous, awful things about other people, even when they try to obfuscate it, and even when they try to say, oh, I'm just having a conversation. If you know what they're doing, you can stand up to them, you can remove them, you can block them, because they used to just stay in their own little silo. They had their own little hate group where they just go around and around and around and around. But that's not good enough for them. They want to inflict their feelings, their woundings on other people. Innocent people. People who may not even care about their cause. But when they, the bad, immoral influence, attack innocent people, it upsets them. And that's what they want. They want other people to be just as upset as they are. Block them. Run from them, disengage, but beware of the fight that they want to fight, because you will be brigaded and they will come after you. And all of that's fine if you're on the side of the right and you have the tools to decompress them. So that was my morning. Oh boy, what a morning. But that's very interesting to know that, when you make major changes to a server, any server, and I guess uploading a file of, if you do the math, over 6,000 servers that are inappropriate for Mastodon, well, you're going to get things slowed down for a little bit because good things take time and blocks take time and fixing things takes a little bit of time. And we fix things. Whew. So now what do you want to talk about? Oh gosh, now we can have some fun. So we had Valentine's Day a couple of days ago. Wonderful time, right? Let me just check the Mastodon thing to see if we're still caught up. I'm just slightly paranoid about it. Okay, so far, so good. Anybody saying yes? People are saying things. Oh, goodness. Someone's asking me about my brutalist cats. Here, I'll show you my brutalist cats. Usually they're asking me about my paper art cats. There's a brutalist cat. There's a brutalist cat. There's a brutalist cat. And there's a brutalist cat. And I knew I was going to get a lot of comments on it because it's very cute and funny. I was very funny today. And then I kind of blocked myself. And so somebody asked me, where are the cats? And I'm not laughing at them, I'm laughing at myself because they're not anywhere. They're AI cats. They're in the mind of Midjourney. And I will answer that person as soon as we're done with the live show. Now let me see if I have any more email from Hugo. Oh, Hugo's a great guy. If you need a good, safe place to host your Mastodon instance, go to masto.host. Tell them I sent you, and you're going to have a wonderful time. Because it's managed for you. You don't have to be a server genius, and then you still have, pretty much local control over what's going on. So you don't really have to worry too much about really deep technical stuff or updating things, because that can get very, very touchy very quickly. Here we go with our fun. Oh, now I have to get out of this. So yesterday, last stream, I shared this with you. My Valentine's gel. And I just played with it like this. for about 15 minutes. And it wasn't sticky. It doesn't smell. It's just a lot of fun. We know how to have fun here on Boles.tv. Streaming live to you, high noon, from the East Coast of these United States. This is very soothing. I should have started with this. So I'm ranting about people getting blocked. And as I said in the Mastodon Discord server, I don't know who constructs these people. Hey, it's Janet Marie. Hi, JM, sweetheart. They're fun. Oh, she calls it slime. S-L-I-M-E. I guess that's what it is, slime. It's a lot of fun. Very soothing. Yeah, Janet Marie missed the last show. Very busy person. I had our heart balloons, and I was wearing them as a pillow. It was very funny. Mwah. So, now, put this back in my container so I can play with it next time. So much fun. We'll talk about a little bit of Valentine's Day. So here we go. Now, Jenna Marie is here, so I have to be very careful. I'll get in trouble, which is nothing new. So the lovely Jenna Marie and I have a little thing we do every morning when she leaves for work. And it's very sweet and quite lovely, and I'm going to share it with you now, because I think it's fun. So in sign language, Jenna Marie Sweetheart is deaf, and she teaches sign language at major universities in and around the tri-state area. And she does private tutoring, and she writes books with me, and we do all kinds of fun. Has a live stream. She'll be on this Saturday. High noon Eastern. You can join her. And we have this. This, you probably know as I love you, right? Sign language, this. And you may or may not know that this hand shape, which is sort of a flat O, not an O, but a flat O, right? You can sign this little kiss. Kiss. Kiss somebody. Mwah. Okay, so every day before she leaves, we do a little thing. And this took us a little while to work it out, but now it works. You know how people, when they meet or they say goodbye, they bump fists, right? And then from bumping fists wasn't really enough, so then people did the bumping exploding fists like this. Okay, fun. I like that. And then COVID, we bumped elbows, all that. Okay, but now we're back to bumping fists. Handshakes, I guess, are out. People don't want a handshake anymore. But the bump fists, they'll do. The Comcast guy here, when he bought our modem here, when he was leaving, we bumped fists. He had his mask on the whole time. So Jenna and I, together, have invented this very fun thing where we do, I'll do it slowly. This is her hand. This is my hand. So Jenna Marie does her I love you. Yeah, yeah. I do my I love you. Yeah, yeah. And then we go like this. Is this how we do it? No, wait. Okay, yes, okay. I've only done this 100 times. So you start with the I love you. Jenna Marie, me, right? I love you. Boom. Okay, then away. Then the kiss, flat O hand shape, right? And then when you kiss, thank you, dear. You're right. I love you first. Then you kiss, and then you explode into I love you again. Now that's cool, right? Fist bump, bah. This, I love you, boom, kiss, boom. Do it again. Boom, kiss, boom. Oh, I didn't do it right. Boom, kiss, boom. Right. Boom, kiss, boom. Boom, kiss, boom. No, that's not all right. Boom. I'm only using, this is how I do it. This is from my side. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Do it faster, Jenna Marie says yes. And when you're doing it with yourself, It's very challenging because I have to play both roles. I have to be both A and B. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Nah, laughing at me. So it's so sweet, right? So Jana Marie, in an unnamed American Sign Language course, perhaps in New York City, maybe not, on Valentine's Day, she decided to share with her advanced ASL students our little ritual, right? The cute thing. Oh, the hey, I love you, the kiss, the explode, and the I love you again, right? So she showed it to them, and this was their response. Now that's hurtful. This is our thing. So I thought, well, if she shared that there, it's not longer our little thing, so I can share it with you here. That's only fair. Nah. Boom. That's it. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my God. I'll have to do it every day now on the show. Yes, Jana Marie says they think it's mushy. Well, isn't that the whole point of being married 34 years? That you can still be mushy with each other. So we're sharing it with the world. Please use it all day, every day, if you possibly can. Now, also speaking about Valentine's Day, our lovely friend Ellie, who is a mushy is okay with me. Oh, that's so sweet, Jana Marie. Our lovely friend Ellie, who shows up for Jana Marie's show every day on Saturdays when it's live, and never shows up for my show. But Ellie is very active on our Discord server. And Ellie gave Jana this delicious hazelnut butter, crunchy mint, chocolate for Valentine's Day. And it's vegan. And it looks absolutely delicious. This is from the Ellie. I am in the process of negotiations, because you can see that they're still there. They've not been opened. I'm in negotiations to see if I will be able to not have half, because I know that won't be allowed, but if I would be able to have a taste of each of these. And it depends on Jana Marie. She is the boss of me and everything else. We are hopeful, but we are not foolish. So what else is in the news? Hey, Boles.xyz. It's our new fun place. It's all protected now. The bad people can't get in. He said, and then all the bad people come in. It's okay. You just deal with it. There's always something new. And if you notice those block lists, they get updated every day. Terrible. But now I know if I'm going to upload a big block list, I got to do it, like when I'm going to bed. I'm done for the day. Upload it. Boom, boom, boom. Timeout. Hey. What else is in the news? Oh, I'm going to show you. This is just terrific. Now, if you remember a few years ago, Starbucks opened I don't want to say deaf only, but a sign language only store near Gallaudet University in Washington, D.C. It's the deaf Starbucks, right? Where you go in there and everybody you speak to knows sign language. I don't think they're all necessarily deaf, but the workers, but a lot of the customers are, because they're students from Gallaudet. And they had a very exclusive mug that you could buy, but only at that store in Washington, D.C. Totally exclusive. And if you wanted one, you had to have a friend at D.C. to go buy you one and send it to you, which never works. Or you could go to eBay or Amazon, and people would, take a $10 mug and sell it for $80. And they would send you one. Look at this. So this is Starbucks. That's the sign for Starbucks. Starbucks. By deaf artists. You can see the gold star. And then inside, you look, coffee brings us together, which is very sweet, right? Just on one side. And I don't know if you can see this or not. Yes, you can. See, we have 2 of these. Well, we have 3. One was delivered broken, which we got our money back on. And then we bought 2 more at outlandish prices, but that's what it cost to be a part of history. I got a chip in mine, which is very disappointing. Jana Marie's is still safe and sound, but mine is chipped. So I've retired this. This used to be my daily drinker for coffee and tea and all of that. So this is a little bit of history about deafness and Starbucks. Okay? Yes. Now. Starbucks has a whole line of American Sign Language stuff. And one of our friends in Iowa got a gift from another deaf friend, and it was this. The new Starbucks ASL. This is not a tumbler, this is the Thermos. Okay, and there you can see there are different kind of hands there, and they're signing connection. Like connect, disconnect was a big thing in the movie and stage play of Children of a Lesser God. That's sort of what they're imitating here. And this is metal. Has a nice flip top, right? Keeps things cool. Keeps things warm. As you can see, there's still literature in there that we have not used because we just got these a day ago. So our friend in Iowa has one of these, and we're thinking, how is that possible that you can get this in Iowa? Oh, there's a big deaf community in Iowa. Well, there wasn't a big deaf community in Iowa for this. So it's not like Starbucks said, oh, let's go to Iowa and give them this when we wouldn't give them this. That didn't make sense to me. So there's a Starbucks that's like 30 feet from us where we live. Went over there, checked out. Do they have the tumbler? This is not the tumbler. This is the Thermos. They don't have anything. So then Jana Marie, in a city to be named later, that could be as simple as New York City, NYC, or more complicated as Manhattan, Greenwich Village. She just happened to pop into one of their stores, and she found this. Now, why New York and Iowa? I think Starbucks got a little smart and said, why are we giving all of our money to scalpers who go into Washington, D.C., buy this and sell it to their friends at 100%, 200, 400, 500% markup? Why don't we just, sell them in a few exclusive stores? I don't know if it's every store or some stores. The stores decide. I don't know how that works. But there's more. This is what I keep saying. This is the Tumbler. Isn't it beautiful? Same thing as the Thermos with the connection thing, hands. But if you're going to have one, you have to have them all, right? I mean, you can't just, not. I mean, what kind of deaf person or husband of a deaf woman would you be if you didn't have them all? And this is very tall, huge, right? Has a straw. It has a screw on top, sort of, right? Look inside. Magnificent color, Aurora Borealis in your cup. The best part of waking up is the Aurora Borealis in your Starbucks tumbler. So this is all plastic, insulated plastic. Very beautiful. Love it. Then, the best one of all is right here. This is the third. 3 out of 3, as they say. 100% on-base average, batting percentage. This is what they call the mug. So you have a thermos, a tumbler, and a mug. Not a cup. And this too has the connect, disconnect, depending how you read it. ASL hands with the beautiful colors. I love the black mug. Flat, right? This is flat finish. It's not shiny at all. Inside, shiny. A little tag. And it's very heavy, square handle, right? This, all available now at a Starbucks near you, as far as I know. But it seems so far that this ding is only like available in Iowa. Jana Marie says, yes, they're all beautiful, but the black mug outshines them all. And I agree with her. Yes, the black one is it. And I'm so fearful, though, that it's going to get a chip if it's used. So it'll be interesting to see if this ever gets used for anything, or if it's just like going to sit somewhere and look pretty, because it has a wonderful feel to it. It's a different kind of mug. This is sort of a flat mug too, right? This is shiny, but the mug itself is flat. The whole outside is flat, but it's not a flat that you can feel. It's a flat that's not even there. It's a strange way to describe it, but I mean, when you see it in person, it leaps off the table, it leaps off the shelf right at you. Absolutely delightful and delicious. So those are my Starbucks stories. We've had a wonderful, very interesting show today. Sort of the reverse. Usually we start out chatting, we talk about fun things, we share candies. Speaking of candies, there's one thing I wanted to show you. This is also Valentine's Day, and it's so wonderful because, let me reload the page before I show it to you. Oh, they're not going to show it to you. Let me see if I hard reload it, if it'll show it to me. No. But this, if you're looking for vegan candy and you love candy, I recommended this to our friend Ellie on our Discord server today. Gigantic is the name of the brand, and it's candy bars that are vegan. And when I first loaded this up this morning, it said we're sold out, get on our wait list. And we know why they're sold out, because of Valentine's Day. As Ellie said on our Discord server, her mother went out and tried to find her vegan chocolates. And she had to do a lot of research because a lot of chocolate's not vegan. Usually most dark chocolate is vegan, but milk chocolate never is. And you can get these delicious candy bars. And we've ordered these in the past. They go very fast. Now, the one thing is they're very expensive. And they're not very big. They look, as you can see, gigantic. And so you're expecting to get this great big gigantic piece of candy delivered to you, and it's not. It's a little tiny thing. But boy, they're delicious. They're expensive, but they're worth the price and the effort to get one. So that sort of wraps up our Valentine's Day celebration. It's been just wonderful. So I thank you so much for being here. We had a wonderful show, had a wonderful time. I hope you stay safe. That's one thing I've learned, when I first got on Mastodon, everything was great. Just a few people, interacting with them, having a wonderful time. Thank you for the show. Thank you for being here, Jana Marie. Here we go. Boom, boom. I did it right. Now that's the way to close the show. Kissing your beautiful wife virtually. So stay safe out there, because as we grew over the last few days with my art paper cats exploding and everyone forwarding it and liking it, and then you kind of become known around the Mastodon Fediverse, and people you have no idea who they are start coming and connecting with you and talking to you. And so you have to be a little careful, because some people just start talking to you innocently, and then, 2, 3, 4, 5 days later, they come at you with, this reversal stuff. So I thank you for being here. I'll see you again soon. Take care. You know where to find us on Mastodon, Boles.xyz. Join our instance. And you can also find us on Discord. here is our lovely Discord server. Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon. Take care.